So tonight is officially our last virtual chat for this round. I'll be opening up the next round here in the next couple of days. And so I will make sure that the link gets posted in the group for those who want to hop into the next round. And, you know, sometimes I always give someone the option of not hopping in the next round. And a lot of it is because I don't want you to feel obligated or pressure to do it. But even if you're traveling, even if it's the holidays, like, it's still a great chance for you, or opportunity for you, to seek progress over perfection, to still have that, you know, that supportive community that I know that a lot of times it's like when you take the month off, it's harder to get back into it because you might have shame attached to whatever's happened, you know, through that month that you were missing or gone. And, you know, instead of just kind of being completely authentic and real in that month, just saying, you know what, like, I ate 5 pieces of pie on Thanksgiving, you know, just feeling like that no one else has like those dark moments. And so it's harder sometimes just to get back in the group. So while you may have the best of intentions, you know, it's one of those things I kind of leave it up to you all. And then even if you do take a couple of months off or a month off, you're always more than welcome to hop back in. So I did want to go ahead and state that. So I will be opening up the next round in a few days. I'm hoping, I'm in the works of getting like a new holiday themed one. And so I have been working on that. And actually, let me write that down because it's a crazy to-do list. I've been doing these brain dumps at the beginning every day, at the beginning of every week. Because I tell me if you're all like this, and I don't know if it has anything to do with PCOS. It also could be because I have crazy anxiety. It could be because I'm a mom of 6. It could be because I homeschool. It could be a lot of reasons why. But I feel like I have so many things, like my life is cluttered, and all my thoughts and my emotions and like the things that I need to do, whether it's my personal life, my coaching life, my mom life, my wife life, the homeschooling life, it gets like one big cluttered cluster. Like, and nothing ends up really getting 100% done because I do a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit. It's like I'm OCD or ADD, I guess. So are anybody else like that? Like, if you're not, I would love to know what has been helping you to not be like that. One thing I've done 2 weeks in a row, would this be week 3 or week 2? I think this will be week 2 if I do it. Not if, when I do it after this call, is a brain dump. So what I've been trying to do is the beginning of every week, hold on, let me turn my heater on low, is to do basically this massive brain dump. Anything that comes to mind, I just throw it down. It's not pretty. And this may be something that would be beneficial. Let me see if I can kind of show you all what it looks like. Because I think sometimes people, whether it's through social media or even in this group, even though I'm pretty open and real, y'all think I got it together most of the time, and I really don't. I'm just really good at playing it off. Let me see. Is this my notebook? See, I can't even find the darn notebook in my brain dump. Let me see if it's in this one. But I have felt personally that the brain dumps have kind of helped me, like, just alleviate a lot of that anxiety. Now I can't even find my brain dump from last week. Darn it. No, I think it's in my planner. I think I pulled it out and put it in my planner. I say that and then watch it not be there. Because I've got so much just crap going on. See, like, this was one brain dump. Just a little snippet into my ADD head. And then, let me see if I can, this was another one. And so, like, I feel like it kind of gives me, like, little things that I can do if I mark out, like, these little tasks I break up into even tiny things so that I can give myself check marks or to mark off things. And I feel like even in your own personal journey, like, if you think about the big goals that you have, and you break them down into smaller goals, and then even to smaller goals, and then even into smaller goals, down to the basic things of everyday things that you can do, you feel like you are accomplishing something. Even if the scale's not moving, or even if XYZ is going on, you can still go back to this and be like, but I still marked off X, Y, and Z off this list. Like, I'm still making progress. Is it perfect? No. And so what I've been doing is the things that are left over from the previous week, I go ahead, I first add that to my next week's brain dump, and then I just kind of just whatever comes to mind. And there are sometimes I do forget things, and so in the middle of the week, I'm like, oh, I got to write down my brain dump. But I really feel like I've gotten more, like, instead of me just spending more time on my business or more time schooling or more, I'm working smarter, not harder. Because I'm being more focused, because I'm like, all right, what's on my list to do? Okay, I need to do this and this. All right, I'm going to get it done so I can mark it off and I can feel good. Then I'll reward myself with like an episode or whatever. And so those are some things that I have just been kind of working on. Like, do you all have anything that helps with anxiety? Or am I the only one? It's okay if I'm the only one. That's normal, because I felt like I was the only one for many years. So.
I have daily to-do lists, like your brain dump. So it's like a daily brain dump.
Okay.
And then one of the things that I do in my classroom every Monday that I love that helps is we do meditation Monday, and we spend 3 minutes meditating. And it's nice for me because I get to do it every period. So that helps a lot.
Would that be something that you could do at the beginning of just every day, every period, or would that be too much, you think?
For my classes, it'd be a little too much, but just doing it at least that once a week helps a lot.
That's awesome. So is that separate from your day? I guess that would be separate than your brain dump, because like the meditation, is it a guided meditation? Do you listen to something? Is it just silence? Like what does that look like?
It's a guided meditation video that I put up.
Oh, so is it like off of YouTube or something?
Yeah.
Oh, can you post that link in the group so I can check it out? That might be something I can have like my girls do. Because they love stuff like that. Interesting enough. So my girls absolutely, like, I did this this guided meditation thing, and like, you know how like it has a very like soft voice, and I had done it at home, and I had also done it in the car before, and they requested it in the car, and so they listened to it for like an hour. Like, and I eventually had to turn it off because I was like, all right, like mommy needs like music or something to pep herself. I'd roll down the window and stuff, but like they love that kind of stuff. They love to be like, all right, let's center ourselves and deep breaths, and because it'll tell you how to breathe and just to feel like, you know, the energy, or like, you know, whatever the words and those things. But my girls are really into that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's just because they can be like, it makes them feel older. I don't know what it is, but they love that stuff. So if you have any videos, which you do high school, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it still may be appropriate for them, but that might be a good idea to look for meditations for children. Put that down on my list. Anybody else have any ideas or what you all do?
I read.
You read?
Yep. Like, I lay myself in bed, because I'm always in bed. I'm in bed right now. And I just read, and I just shut everybody off, because my fiance will go in his game room, and he'll play video games all night, and I just get some alone time, and I can just chill. I can watch what I want to watch on TV. I'm watching the cooking show right now, which I shouldn't be because they're making pie. But I can just chill, and it's like the best time because I'm around 4 kids all day, and I mean.
So what are your hours when you nanny?
I'm usually there by 8:00 in the morning, and I leave at 4.
Okay.
But tomorrow, on Tuesdays, I work from 8 to 6. So then she'll sometimes let me leave early other days, or she'll want me there at 7:00 in the morning. So it's every week is different depending on their schedule. So when the kids have no school, or like last week, the baby was sick. So it was just a whole hodgepodge of,
Yeah.
And I think that's why I got sick again, because I was running back and forth. And then by the time I got home, if I wanted to work out, it's freezing in New Jersey right now. So my dumb ass would go outside, and I finished having bronchitis, and now I have a cold. So I can't
No
win.
more running outside, not until you're 100%.
I know. My fiance yelled at me. He goes, "That's why, because you go outside and all you have on is a dinky little sweater."
That's funny. Well, it's not funny, but
He was yelling at me on the phone before. I was like, he goes, "Why do you sound sick?" I was like, "I don't know." Trying to like play it off like, "Oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine." I don't know.
but you're talking like this.
I know. I sound like I sound like a
No,
man.
you don't sound like that right now, but I'm just like doing an impression like you would be on the phone.
Oh,
I don't think you sound very sick though right now.
because I couldn't. I'm masking it really well then because I can't breathe out of my nose right now.
What about you, Amanda?
Oh, me? Or
Yeah.
which? Yeah. I'm feeling a little bit better.
Do you
I
struggle with anxiety at all?
do what? Oh God, yes. Yes.
Do you have anything that you do that helps?
Anything that's appropriate? Probably not.
All
Oh,
right.
now you have to tell.
So what do you feel like you're doing that is inappropriate?
We're all grown-ass women.
Wine.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
drink, though. I'm out of that loop.
Or, like chocolate or something. I let me tell you, I've been shoving shit in my face for I've been sick for the last 10 days, and I've been shoving stuff down my face because of did I mention I had a bad mammogram?
No.
And I had to repeat that mammogram last week along with an ultrasound, and it still turned out bad. And now I have to go see a surgeon. So I've been not only have I been sick the last week, I've also been very stressed the last week.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been a bad month, and it's ending on a bad note. And
have they given any indication of what it could be?
well, he told me it's not a cyst, it's not a lymph node, it's on the other thing. He said it's solid, has irregular borders, so it's either malignant or it's benign, and I'll have to have a biopsy then. And then depending on what the biopsy says is what they do after that.
Now, have you, was that your first mammogram? Like the
Yep.
first one that was your actual first one?
Yep.
Now, have you had any other issues in your family?
Of that one, there's only one breast cancer that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But I'm kind of cystic anyway, so at first I thought, well, it's just another cyst, But he says it's not a cyst, so. But then I just had a hysterectomy in December and my uterus was riddled with tumors, so could just be now it's moved on to my boobs. I don't know.
Was it something that you could feel beforehand?
No, my boobs are so lumpy. They're huge, I'm
I don't
40.
really have that issue of being huge, so.
Oh, I've got triple D's.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a C and I want to cut them off.
I know, right?
Oh
And everybody was all like, "Oh, your mammogram hurts so bad," and I was like, "So you get that first one done," and I was like, "Well, that wasn't bad." So that's kind of like a regular Friday night. And the lady just looked at me. I was like, "I'm kidding. It didn't hurt at all." And so then they're like calling me within 3 hours. I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, they like that so much, they want me to come back." So then, I come back and I'm like, I get another one, and then I get the ultrasound. I said, "This is like a Saturday night." You guys were like, "You're a freak." I'm like, "I'm just kidding." But I'm not. When I get the biopsy, that's not like a regular night. They're like, if you say that's like a regular night, there's something wrong with you. Like, no, I don't normally go around shoving needles in me, so.
My mother had to get a chunk of her boob taken out a couple of years ago.
Mm.
And it's like every time my mother tells me something that's going on with her, I instantly think the worst and think, "Oh my God, I'm your spawn."
Yeah.
Like she went through cervical cancer and they had to cut out a chunk of her cervix. But she was able to have children because, they don't, it grows back. So she went through that. She's had a chunk of her boob taken out. She's had something on her leg removed. She's told me a couple of months ago that she was getting something else removed. Every time I talk to her, she's going to have something removed, and it's like, what? Like, because I have beauty marks all over my body, and you're supposed to go and get yourself checked all the time and everything like that. So every time I go to the doctor, I'm like, I have a new mark, I have a new spot, my mom did it, and I'm freaking, and the doctor's looking at me like, calm the hell down, like, calm down, it's fine. And it's just, it's such a pain in the ass every time I hear about my mother having to go through something, and then I worry about it. And I know not all of it is like, oh, it's going to happen to you, but it's like, it could. Like,
it does.
Exactly.
I'm like my mother.
So when do you go for your biopsy?
I don't know. I go and see the surgeon on Friday, and then we'll go from there Friday.
What time do you go on Friday?
What time?
Yeah.
My appointment's at 10:10, so it'll be, well, you're an hour ahead, so 11:10 your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna set an alarm. I have been trying to do better. Is I believe in prayer. I love Jesus. I don't expect everybody else to, but and I always say, I'm going to pray for you. Well, I'm going to set an alarm in my phone to pray for you. Because if I don't set the alarm, I have really good intentions, but it doesn't always happen. So that's why I wanted to write it down. So
yeah.
So I'm going to put that down there. So that's really heavy news. Obviously we all are rooting for you, and we are here. And I hope that it doesn't come back malignant. Is it malignant? Is that the word?
Yeah.
And that it's just something, that you're not going to have anything removed or any chemo or anything like that, because you're young, and it's crazy to think that, we think about, our moms, our grandmas, or our aunts. It's always like the older ladies, but we're coming of age to where we need to start getting things checked. And so I don't do self breast exams. And I went to the gynecologist 2 weeks ago, and she was like, oh, you need to get in the habit of doing it. You're 34 now, and, and your chances increase for this, this, and this. And I'm just it's crazy. I am in that phase. When you do surveys, I'm no longer in the 20s anymore, or even in the surveys, they may go up to 30 to 34. Now I'm going to the 35s to 40s. I'm middle-aged. And so if you think about it, it's those things that always in my mind, I'm that's for the older generation. No, that is a possibility for me. And so it's just, I don't know, does anybody, I still feel the 90s is 15 years ago.
I wish.
Yeah.
And
yeah. At least you're still in your 30s. I'm not in my 30s anymore.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't realize that.
I'm 40.
I feel I'm in my 70s with the way my body feels sometimes. So there's that.
Yeah.
I
don't
look
feel
like I'm
40,
12.
in my head, I don't feel 40. I'll tell you that much. I still feel like a teenager most days.
My boss joked to me today about,
I'm immature.
Oh, well, you're still a kid. I told my boss, I was like, I'm not a kid. She goes, no, but that's not a bad thing. You're a kid at heart. I said, well, I'm stuck around children all day, so that's the only interaction I have. So yeah, I'm a kid, but I look like I'm 12, but I'm not 12. But
I almost got denied a sample at Sam's Club the other day. Because the lady asked me, she goes, how old are you? And I was initially I said 23 because I didn't think anything of it. Don't ask me why I got my own age wrong. And I was like, wait, no, I'm 25. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, I wasn't going to get, because you have to be 18 or older to get a sample or have consent. I was like, come on now. Just give me the stupid, it was a muffin. Just give me the muffin.
What is in the muffin?
It was a little bite muffin. Like,
Oh my God.
And you had to be 18.
yeah, you have to be 18 or have parental consult right there for them to give you a sample.
Oh yeah. Like,
Muffin.
Because,
go,
that's
like,
because
yeah,
they don't want to be held responsible for allergies.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because if you go into anaphylaxis and they gave you that, ooh, they're screwed.
Mom
So
is going to the bank.
right. Oh God. A couple months ago I was willing somebody to hit me with a car so I could collect money.
Man, that would be a nice gig though.
I mean, it's like just it would give me a reason to just lay in bed and not have to get up.
Oh my gosh.
I need a vacation.
Y'all are always more than welcome to come to Kentucky. And then in Tennessee, I still want to get a group of us to go to Pigeon Forge, which I haven't talked about that in a while. So like we have like, for those who don't know, like my husband and I, we were able to buy a cabin last December in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which is like a really like touristy area. It's similar to like Branson. I've not been to Branson, but I've heard it's better because Pigeon Forge is like a big area, and then Gatlinburg is right next to it. So it's like very, very close. And there's like a bunch of Ripley's attractions like Dolly Parton stuff. There's just a lot of touristy things to do. And so we bought a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom cabin last year. And I would love to just get like a group of ladies to go down and just meet up and just hang out for a few days. But anyway, I'll post more about it in the group because I guess I haven't talked about it in a few weeks or a few months. It's been a while. But yeah, you don't need an excuse to come see me. You can come see me whenever you want.
My best friend lives in South Jersey. She's like maybe 3 hours away from me, and I make an excuse every time. Well, okay, I'm not the only one that makes an excuse because she has 2 kids of her own. We're constantly making excuses to why we can't come and visit each other. Like, I don't work on the weekends. She's a stay-at-home mom, and yet it's always like, I have to do this, or this kid is doing this, or I'm doing, and it's so, like, it's heartbreaking in a way because it's like, she's been my best friend since we were like 14,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen her maybe twice in the last like 3 years. It's just like work consumes my life, and nobody understands that. Like like I go to work in the morning. I'm with children all day. Granted, some of them go to school, but I'm with a 1-year-old all day, and it's like when I get home, I want everybody to leave me the hell alone. Like I don't want to. Half the time, I don't want to cook dinner. I don't want to exercise. And I do here and there, like I'll find myself in like the middle of the day when I'm at work, sneaking in squats or like jogging in place or like running around the house, running up and down the stairs just to get some form of exercise in to get away from the kids for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it makes my brain like switch. It's like, you had some you time for a quick second. And then by the time I get home, it's like, I just want to lay in bed and I want to read and I don't want to do anything. So it's like,
okay. It's totally fine to do because that's your form of self-care. So
yeah, otherwise I'm like,
apologize for that.
I'm
So
a hot mess. Robin, we know I'm a hot freaking mess. We already know.
Place.
Ugh.
So Natalie, how have you been doing?
Pretty good. A little stressed because I feel like I'm strapped for time. Because I go straight from like teaching all day, come home and make dinner really quick, and then I go back out and I'm studying for a big test coming up in January, and I do that until like anywhere from like 10 to midnight. I'll get home.
What's your test for? Is it like just your master's or something
No, I have my master's. I'm trying to apply to medical school.
Okay.
I'm taking the MCAT in January.
Oh wow.
Good for you.
That's exciting. So what would you like to do like in that profession?
I'd like to do family practice because the town that I live in is considered medically underserved and we don't really have enough primary care physicians for how many like people. So like on average, each primary care physician has like 300 plus patients that they're managing. So
wow. That sounds like a lot. Like I don't know really anything about that, but yeah.
I could never do that.
So how long will
Good for
medical
you.
school be?
How much? What?
How long will medical school be?
So it takes a whole year to apply, and then if you're accepted, then it's 4 years of school, and then anywhere from 3 to 8 years of residency after that. But for what I want to do, it'd be 3 years of residency, so 7 years.
More power to you. So how long have you already been in the process if it takes a full year?
So I've applied before and I haven't gotten in. So I've applied twice. So this will be my third time going through the process.
Okay. Well, awesome. And I think I was messaging you earlier about lunch ideas, or was that something else? Okay.
I think we talked about it last week.
Okay. Yeah. So I know, I think I had talked to one or two other people. I guess I could pull up my messages to see just about some different lunch ideas, some things that are easy to take on the go. So I'll be posting. Let me write that down because I'm going to forget if I don't. We'll start a lunch thread of some different things, and maybe I'll post some different recipes that I find, and then maybe other people can also share some that maybe they have some links. Yeah. So, are you exercising much now? I know, like, you know, the lunches before. Sorry, reel it back in, Robin. I think it was last week. You were talking, or the week before, you were struggling with snacks. And I saw in the group that you have been snacking, like, you know, basically carrots and stuff. So how is that going? Like, is the snacking, like, are you seeing progress in that area?
Yes, I haven't come home like starving and grabbing whatever, which has been really exciting. And carrots have been a good go-to because I just like pop a couple in my mouth and just like go.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. I'm glad that is getting better. You know, and even trying to expand that a little bit, like, I don't know, or peanuts or some things that necessarily don't have to be refrigerated, or that are just kind of easy to grab and go. Like I usually have like either protein bars or Beach Bars. Beach Bar makes these little Beach Bars that don't have like a bunch of added ingredients to it. So I'll have those. I always keep those in my center console in my car, along with like almonds, pecans. Like, I just have a variety of nuts depending on my what I'm into. And also for like my kids, like sometimes I'll have gummies and stuff. I try not to give those very often because they are sugary. But I always have stuff like that in the center console, so we're not as likely to eat like fast food. So, you know, even if you had some type of bars that you liked, like in your drawer, so you could just kind of take a few bites here and there, to kind of grab and go. So, sorry, I have things popping up from Zoom. So anyway, those are some ideas, and maybe I will look at some other snack ideas as well.
Okay.
That don't have to be refrigerated, because I know that that's probably a concern, because you don't want to be like eating something would be nasty if it had to be refrigerated. Lunch ideas post. What else? But that's really exciting that you're about to take that test, and that's in January.
Yeah.
You said? Okay. I guess, Andrea, are you still on? I don't see you, and you're muted. So
I'm here.
Okay, you're here. Well, I want to see your beautiful face. I saw that you all are back home now, and that John is better.
He got released Friday.
Okay.
Evening, and we've been staying at his dad's house over the weekend. His stepmom is actually doing his bandage change and everything else like that. And so we've been, like, today was my first day back to work with him being home. And so, like, we stay here at night, and then we go home during the day. I'm just excited to be home because I have ate out so much in the last, 2 months. I don't think I ever want to eat out again right now.
Yeah. I bet, like, it's hard, but I would also, like, I would assume that it would be kind of hard. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to get back in that groove of cooking for yourself too.
Well, And it's difficult too, though, because he's still on a feeding tube and everything right now. And he's on like clear liquid diet and stuff. And so, like, when I'm literally giving it's literally like for me. And so I haven't started to stay with my first day back with him being home and stuff, but like I've started sitting down and like listing out ideas. Like I was gonna make a batch of tuna pasta and stuff like that, and just to get some stuff going and everything kind of put together, because I was like, I'm gonna try really hard this month, and then everything else happened again, and I was like, I give up this month. I'm tapped out. Because I've been getting yelled at a lot more because I haven't emotionally or mentally been taking care of myself, because I've been so focused on him. And like last night, between sleep and like everything else, like I cried because I couldn't get the phone charger plugged into the phone last night, like when I woke up, like,
yeah,
and I kept dropping stuff, like, and he thought it was hilarious, but because I'm like crying over nothing over there, and I was like,
yeah.
So
how long do they suspect that he will be on the feeding tube?
The soonest we're thinking is until after Thanksgiving.
Oh wow, so it will be at least a few weeks.
Yeah, in total he was inpatient 29 days. I actually added up his claims the other day, and we've already paid almost $145,000 in just 2 months, or 2.5, 3 months. Thankfully his out of pocket is met now, so everything is just like coming in and processing. But yeah, he's on the feeding tube still. He's on that all day, and then he has physical therapy coming to the house during the week. He's still getting gauze changes. He actually has to go in for a CT scan on Wednesday, because before he left the hospital, his drain, like that was actually attached to like the side by the incision, got ripped out. So yeah, it's just, if anyone wants to see something gnarly, just message me. I got lovely pictures of this incision.
God. I don't do blood.
I don't know if you see Marie's face right now, but I'm dying. Like, I almost want to like get it from you, Andrea, and just send it to her, like secretly, surprise her, and just. But I wish I could have her. It's only worth it like if her expression is recorded. I'm so
my life.
Sorry.
But it's like I deal with the baby all day and like poop and vomit and all that stuff. But like when it comes to like blood and stuff.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, there's no blood.
I can't.
I just saw his stomach fat. Like he's down like 50 or 60 pounds since all of this happened.
Oh wow.
Oh my God.
Because the cyst itself they drained was 15 pounds. It was 7 liters of stuff that they drained out of him. Basically, his organs were starting to fail. When they intubated him Tuesday morning, the morning of his surgery, they thought they were going to have to put him on dialysis because he wasn't urinating. But they said as soon as they went in and like started releasing some of the cyst, like draining it, it's like his kidneys started like working again and stuff like that. So they drained 7 liters out of him. And that, when you Google the math on that, that's 15 pounds. And then he was only eating like a Premier protein shake a day, like literally spacing 1 bottle out a day, because he couldn't eat anything. And then he was inpatient and was on like a clear liquid or like nothing by mouth diet for a week. And yeah,
like, that's insane. Like, I'm sitting here trying to picture, like, not necessarily like the gross stuff, but like just him like having a 15-pound cyst and like this going on and losing 50 pounds in a month. Like, that is like ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's mind blowing.
It's insane. Like it's crazy. Like, I went shopping for him the other day to get him some clothes, and I'm so used to buying like 2X and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gonna be adventurous and get you an extra large, and like, because his 2Xs are falling off of him now. And I was like, you almost weigh less than me. That's not okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like my husband. He weighs a lot less than I do, and I used to be very close to what he was like my, I can't hear, what was my lowest? It was like 181, and he's around like 175. And like, I was so close, and like, it was almost kind of like one of those sweet things. Like, I just can't wait for the day where I can say I weigh less than him. Yeah, it never happened, because then trauma happened, and then peanut butter and chocolate became my best friends again. So, and I gained like 30 pounds in 2 months. So it happens, but we're still
I
working.
will say though, with everything going on, okay, I haven't weighed myself recently,
Uh-huh.
but with everything going on, the last time I had weighed myself, I initially, when he got admitted, I was down 8 or 9 pounds because I had started like watching my foods and like basically doing the intermittent fasting with not eating after a certain time or before a certain time. And when I weighed myself last time, I was back to my initial starting weight, but that still was not even 10 pounds over where like what I had lost. So I was still maintaining and wasn't above where I originally started.
And to be honest, you know, and not that like I'm trying to give you like a free pass or whatever, but like I know for me, when I'm in a traumatic situation or a like, and I mean, you all feel free to speak up if you feel the same. Like if things just, my routine completely gets thrown off, it is very easy for me to fall off track. It is very easy for me to grab the quickest and easiest thing because it's there. And I reason with myself, it's better to eat that than to not eat anything. And so especially with it being like such a long, intensive, not only emotional, but like physical on his part, and I'm sure yours as well, for being in the hospital for so long. Like, I think just the fact that even if you, to be honest, even if you gain 5 pounds, like I feel like that would be a victory in my book, like, you know, or maintaining, because I know from past experience, I've put on 30 pounds in 2 months dealing with trauma with my kids. And you know, it's very easy, especially being insulin resistant. So like, I just would, you know, consider, I would not feel like you've had to take the last month off, because if you weren't working on yourself physically, you were working on yourself emotionally. Even if it wasn't the way that you thought it would be, it still was a work in progress. You were still a work in progress. And you kind of have to look at it like that instead of feeling like a little bit of defeat, because you don't want to get into that cycle where I'm a month behind. I had to take a month off because of this happened, and beat yourself up. No, like, you made progress where you needed to make progress for where you are in your journey. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So, no, like, you know, and that's one thing that I wanted to kind of go into. So this past weekend, I went down to Tennessee, and I met up with my coach, Jen Greenberg. She lives near Knoxville. And so like, I invited her to go to a conference with Lifeway, which is a Christian organization, and it's for women leaders in ministry. And so I went last year, and I really enjoyed it. So I invited her to go with some friends and some ladies that I go to church with. I wouldn't say I'm really friends with them because I don't really hang out with any of them outside of church. It's just, life happens. It's very hard for me to do that. And so I went down, and then we drove over there together. And if you haven't met Jen, she's amazing. And so it was really a great time, because we were like 3 hours there, 3 hours back, plus like the 2-3 days we were there. So like, I literally got to talk to her more this weekend than I have like the last 3 years that I've known her, like in real life, since I've been a coach. And just the theme for the conference was confident. And it just talked about how we are all, whether like in your Christian walk or, you know, I put this in perspective, like your own personal journey. No matter where we are in our journey, we're all going to be in different chapters of our life. You know, some may be in chapter 1, some may be in chapter 5, some may be in chapter 10. But becoming confident and feeling, you know, that you are exactly where you need to be in this moment. Embracing it for what it is, whether it's you're on a mountain or whether you're in the valley, you're in that season of your life for I don't want to say for like necessarily for a reason, but it's there to teach you something. It's there to grow. if you go into that mindset where, all right, like I know, instead of saying why me, saying what can I learn from this moment, and being confident in it, that, you know what, even if you don't feel like you're in the strongest like point in your life, that you have people that you can go to for advice, people that you can go to for support. So like me, like for example, like I may not feel confident like as a mom, like I like screamed and yelled at my kids this morning. You know, in a way I'm like, they didn't deserve it, but then they did. Like they were awful. But then I like was driving today and I just felt like the worst mom ever. And, you know, and I thought about it, and I honestly didn't have a chance to go live today because I was doing tons of other things because we're getting rid of a lot of crap in our house. And so I, you know, and I wanted to share about it. Like, but I know that I'm doing the best that I can. Does that give me permission to eat all the chocolate, to eat all of this, do this, to make all these excuses? No. But I'm confident that the way that I'm trying to raise my kids to be strong, independent women, and not spoiled, entitled brats, I'm confident in the choices that we are making for lifestyle. I'm confident that, you know, I am seeking my husband as a partner to collaborate with. I know that I'm confident in that I have a tribe of women who are moms or who have worked with kids that can either give me suggestions, advice, or say, you know what, Robin, maybe you did step over the line with that, but they can tell me in love. So for instance, like with this group, and that's just like a real life example that happened to me today. With this group, like, you know, if I, you know, was struggling with eating or working out or just anything, just say, I know I can come to this group. I know I can hop on live or make a post and say like, all right, girls, like, tell me where I'm off track. Just shoot it to me straight. Don't BS me. Don't sugarcoat it. Let's be real. Or just say, hey, we need to hop on an extra Zoom, and I just need somebody just to, I just need to chat. I just need to go bounce ideas back and forth. Does that make sense? Like, I know I'm confident. I gain confidence from the knowledge and the resources I know that you all have. And being wise a lot of the times, here's a definition of wisdom that I learned that I thought was just so profound, and I hope I don't butcher it. Wisdom doesn't come from, like, you don't have to be like 60 years old to be wise. You don't have to have all the answers to be wise. Wisdom basically comes from taking the knowledge that you already have and making a decision that will basically help you make progress, that will help you reach that greater goal. So whether that is being wise and reaching out to someone else who has resources or tools or who has answers that can help you, or you going to a book, or you going and basically it's just helping you to create the dots that you already know that you have. It's not all this extra knowledge that you feel like is out there, like saying I have to read 20 books or listen to 20 podcasts to be wise. No, you can be wise where you are and have that confidence by taking the knowledge that you already have, the support that you already have with this group, and connecting the dots to make it work for you. Does that make sense? Or am I like, or are you just like, Robin, like you are just spitting bullshit to us? Like in my head, that makes sense.
I get it.
Know that like you can be confident because, you know, you've got amazing workout programs. You've got amazing meal plans. You've got amazing support and accountability in this group. You've got everything that you need in this group to succeed. And I was actually, what was I listening to? Was it a podcast or like no, I think I was watching like some motivational video from somebody, I don't even know. I think it was a new person I was just kind of stalking. And it was saying that if everything, like basically if you were, let's say workout programs, and you're just like, you have failed at this one, you failed at this meal plan, you failed at this, and you're always blaming the program. You're blaming the meal plan. You're blaming the system. You're blaming the people for whatever. Have you ever kind of thought, and this is tough love, that maybe the problem is not them, it's you. It's you not training your mind and transforming it while you're doing your body, because you can only work your body for so long until you leave your mindset back here. Because I have been there. Like, I have had weight loss surgery. I have lost 80 pounds plus within like a short period of time, like 3 months. And then my mindset was still way back there. My body was up here. My mind was back there. And I still felt like I was walking around in the 260 pound body or whatever it was. 200, I don't know. You know, and I still had the mindset that I was worthless. I was unlovable. I was unbeautiful. And basically all these things that I had carried around for so long. And I think really just honing in that the magic, the answer, the secret sauce for me wasn't that crazy quick transformation physically. It's about taking your time, seeking that progress over perfection, being confident in that, you know what, like, I'm going to enjoy this journey while I'm doing it. You know, if I'm going to be working out and I'm going to be trying to eat healthy, I'm going to be trying to do that, I might as well find some friends, build some true relationships that I can connect with, to where I'm like, you know what, like, let's make this fun. And the day that coaching, and don't get me wrong, like, there are some days where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I am ready to be done coaching. I am tired of feeling rejected. People are giving me every excuse under the book. Yeah, every job has that. But when it comes down to it, when it gets to a point where I feel like it's no longer fun, I probably will throw my towel in. But it's not. You know why? Because I have these groups. If I wasn't running the academy every month and finding new people to bring in new spaz to the, like, that spark, and just finding new people who are just not like on fire to get excited, or just that new excitement of, like, you know, when you get something new, like that, like, people say I inspire them, but you all inspire me, you know? And so, like, you make me all feel confident, because I know that I can always hop on here and I'm going to have people's bouncing ideas off of. I'm going to have all these different experiences. Even though we all have PCOS, we all have a completely different life story. We all come from completely different backgrounds. And so, does that make sense? So, like, just being confident for where you are and knowing that you have the power to write your story. You know, you don't have to be destined to feel worthless and unloved and unbeautiful and all these things because you have PCOS. PCOS does not define you. It is just basically, like, if you wrote a biography, it would be a chapter in your story. It's not the whole story. And just think about so many other things that what other chapters would be in your story too. And now I'm kind of rambling, but it's like, you know, it's kind of how my mind goes. Like, oh, if I was like, what would be the chapters in my story? And those are basically like, every chapter would be a new facet of who you are, and the kind of people you can relate to and build that confidence, and people who you can bounce ideas off of. So, like, you all make me feel confident because you all show up, you all check in, and I'm like, wow, like, these women, they trust me. They are not only are willing to care about me and my journey, but they care enough to share their own with me. And so just being confident for where you are. And that confidence is not something that's going to come easy. You got to put that on every single day. Every single day. You got to put it on. Because if you don't intentionally put it on, it's not going to it's not going to grow legs and kind of crawl up and get on your body like a pair of legs would. Does it make sense? Like, you have to be intentional. And one of the best ways to do that is personal development. I know for the first year that I was coaching, the first year I was doing this stuff, I thought it was stupid. I'm like, I don't need that. I am too good for that. I don't need the self-help crap. But let me tell you what, like, it has been one of the most transformational things for me in the last like 2.5 years, because that was when my mind started catching up with my body. And I learned that this journey is not about losing weight. It is not about, it's so much more than that. It's about the life that you gain from knowing that you can take control. And this past week, I am so proud of myself. I struggle with reading. I am the first person to say that, but I finished 3 books, because where I had to drive to Tennessee and back, that was 3 hours there. and 3 hours back. And then the 3 hours that I was in the car with Jen and back was a separate trip. We didn't even turn on the radio once. We talked the entire time. Loved it. But I had at least 6 hours just to get to her house and back. And so not only did I finish 2 books that I had already started, like Made to Crave, I started at the beginning of the month. Finished that. Amazing, especially if you're a Christian, because she really relates it to your walk with God. But there were a lot of things that I thought were profound for anyone of any spiritual background. I also listened to The Personality Code. I finished that one. And it's basically learning about other people's personalities. And I sent out to several of you all, and I probably will put it in the next round of the Academy. I want everyone to do this personality test because it will help me as a coach help you all better on how what drains you, what motivates you, what inspires you. And I just have become fascinated this month in learning more about each person individually and their personalities. So that is something I'm going to be incorporating in the Academy as well. And then I actually started and finished. So the other 2 I had finished last week because I did so much driving. But this weekend I started and finished Girl Wash Your Face, which I know Andrea is listening to. I don't know if you're still listening or reading to it, but I love that book as well. So it's like, and then I started another book. So it's like, I cannot tell you how transformational it can be when you take these books and especially when you find ones that can apply to where you are in your life right now, can really be transformational because I've said it 1,000 times. I will preach it from the mountaintops and from the valleys. This journey is much more emotional than it's physical. And so if you're not reading something, you're not listening to a podcast, you're not doing something, I just urge you, I just cannot preach it enough. You need to find something. If you need help choosing something, let me know. If you're saying, hey, Robin, I'm struggling with this, I can either recommend a book that I've read that I think will apply to that and help you in that area, or I will go and try to find resources of something that would apply to that because I have a long list of books. But yeah, like I don't know. I just kind of rambled, but does anybody have any thoughts or questions, comments, or anything like that before we hop off? Because I know we've been on here for about an hour.
I don't know. I feel like half the time I just stress out about absolutely nothing. And like the other day, like I told you about how, like, you know, that time of the month started 2 days before it was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then it ended. And then I woke up Saturday or Sunday and, you know, I peed, I wiped, and there was blood. And I had a fit. My fiance wasn't awake yet. I crawled back into bed. I went under my blankets and I literally started to cry because it's just so frustrating when it's like, I've been on this stuff for so long and everything's going good. And then the simplest change, like I lose a little bit of weight, I diet, I exercise, and my body freaks the hell out. But I instantly went onto the Facebook page on the PCOS fitness and I ranted. And I got so much support from everybody understanding. And it was just like it was just like a weight off my shoulders because I was like, I'm not that weird freaking girl that goes through this stuff. Like other people deal with this stuff. And like I'm still reading the You Are a Badass book.
Mm-hmm.
And I never grew up in like a church scene or like the God scene. My mother's side of the family is Jewish. My dad's side of the family is Catholic. I never grew up in any, even though my mother, who was Jewish, sent us to Bible school in the summer, but I don't know. But I never grew up in that. But like all the stuff she says in that book, like, I mean, I'm only like a quarter of the way through it.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff she says in that book is like she's like my BFF. Like she knows. Like,
hey, now she can take my place.
Okay. Well, it's like, but like, no matter who I talk to, it's like random strangers. Like I didn't think I would have as much support as I do because you know people can be rude, nasty people.
Oh yeah.
This world is horrible. But it's like the amount of love and support that I've gotten in the last 3 weeks is like I'm a happier person. Like, I'm smiling more. Like, work still stresses me out. Don't get me wrong. I'm with children all day. They drive me freaking insane. And to what you said before about freaking out on your kids this morning, I have to bite my tongue at least 3 times a day to not freak out on these children. It's just they know what to do to get under your skin. So half the time I walk away now. I'm learning to literally just walk away and ignore them. Like your children is different. These children are not mine. Okay, I have to keep them alive during the day and fed and whatnot. Other than that, I'm just gonna turn around and walk away. Unless somebody's bleeding or freaking out, bye. Marie needs a minute to just chill.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I love that I can go and I can vent and I can, no matter what it is, I don't have to feel like ashamed of anything. Like, yeah, I still get stressed out.
Like I feel like the insecurity, almost the opposite of that is confidence. Because when we do feel alone, we feel insecure. Because what if we're the outlier? What if no one else is like us? But then when we get affirmation from other people, like, we're not the only one that's dealing with this, dealing with that. We're like, oh, like, okay, like, I don't feel as bad. Like, and that's confidence building. And that's one thing, like, it's just owning it. It's like, all right, like, it is what it is. I'm not perfect, but I'm recognizing it and I'm working on it. And like, you're walking away, just like you said. So, so yeah, like, I think it's great. And so, yeah, I definitely think that it relates.
I'm just a lot happier in the last couple of weeks because I'm just realizing, like, you're not alone. You're like, when people say that, it's like, yeah, whatever. But like, no, it's real because, like, I'm the type of person, like, I talk to you about, like, my relationship with my mother and everything like that. And like, I can't call my mom and, like, because she doesn't understand it. Like, last year when I lost all that weight, she was, you're losing too much weight. You're not healthy. Like, she wouldn't say anything that was like a confidence booster. It was all, and she would tell my brother, talk to your sister, she's losing too much weight. And yet I was still technically, for my height and I was still overweight. So it was like, I was feeling good about myself, but it's just like I was being brought down. But like, I feel like now I'm like, even when I feel like I'm bringing myself down, there's other people to tell me, get your shit together. You can do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just me relying on what's going on in here. It's everybody telling me, like, you can do it one step at a time, day by day. Just, relax. And I needed that. I really did.
Well, good. Well, I'm so excited that you have joined us. Amanda, do you have anything? Or are you good?
I think she's muted.
Yep, she's muted. Can you hear us? All right.
Hello.
Well, we'll go ahead and hop off here because it's 10 o'clock. But I will message you back, and
no rush. When I know you're busy, believe me.
All right. Well, I appreciate you all hopping on, and I will get that group open and get whoever wants to be added. Whoever wants to be added, get them added in the next couple of days. So with that, hope that you all have a wonderful night, and I will chat with y'all later. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.